no, but I'm enthusiastic.
All right, who wants to talk about Kevin Spacey and the latest with the allegations of sexual harassment against him? Okay, well.
I've had a couple of experiences with Kevin Spacey, not in that way.
Okay, let's first give the story and where it stands, then I would love your perspective because you're in the Hollywood weeds. So we know that last night during the World Series at 9 p.m., this tweet from Kevin Spacey came out, right? And it was him confessing, and we'll put a link to the full story in the comments right now. But he basically is being accused by, and I want to get the actor's name right, Anthony Rapp. He's in the Star Trek. So Anthony Rapp came out, he's now 46, and says, okay, because of all of this stuff with Weinstein and all the women that are coming out against him and alleging him of sexual harassment. Back when I was 14 years old, Kevin Spacey sexually assaulted me in his apartment when Kevin Spacey, was 26 years old. So Spacey responded and said, I don't recall this.
Yep.
I was probably drunk.
Yep.
B, if this happened, I am so sorry. And he goes on to give his deepest apologies. And then at the end, Kevin Spacey goes, oh, by the way, I'm a gay man. So he comes out in all of this. And now the two different headlines have merged in a lot of news sources last night, led with Kevin Spacey outs himself. Kevin Spacey comes out as a gay man, and a lot of the gay community, part of the LGBTQ community, are saying, wait, don't mix in you coming out with sexual assault. Like, they're two very different stories, and while we're happy for you that you've come out and you're able to live your most authentic life now, let's get to the root of this issue with you sexually assaulting maybe this 14-year-old kid and how it's affected Rapp all of these years. So a lot of people, when we came in, were talking about this like, oh, these two different stories. Cornelia, you had said, oh, about
I thought people knew Kevin Spacey was gay.
That's not even like a headline.
I was like, well, why did he come? I was like, why did he come out? We already knew.
And then, I had no idea.
Then you guys were like, no, we didn't know. And I was like, oh. I thought that was just the conversation that has always been had. But again, I lived in LA for 6 years, so people have seen him out in relationships and interacting with, and I didn't even relate it to House of Cards. I was just thinking about people seeing him out with people that he's been dating who were men. So I was like, oh, y'all be surprised?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you've spent so much time with the Hollywood bigwigs. Has this conversation already come out?
The gay thing and then the sexual assault thing, because again, that's the main story here.
So he's been living as a gay man for a long time. He just has not said it publicly. Has not said it, but it's been pretty obvious in the industry. Everyone knows it. Like the entire industry knew it, so it's no shock. But the fact that he chooses to verbalize it now,
last night,
horrible timing. The worst timing ever, and completely inappropriate. As for his character, I can tell you one Kevin Spacey story, and this is kind of cemented in my mind who this guy is forever. In '99, I was at a party for American Beauty in Toronto. It was a reception, a meet and greet party for it, but they did it in this castle in Toronto, and there was limited seating, and a woman sat down in a chair that was meant for Kevin Spacey at this table. And there were plenty of other seats available, but that was specifically his seat at the end of the table.
Okay, what happened?
And he turns to his assistant, who's standing next to me, and said, "Who's in my chair?" And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I told her that she could sit there. She's 9 months pregnant. She's going to deliver." And he goes, "I don't care if she's having a heart attack. That's my chair." And made his assistant kick her out of the chair. So from this day, anytime I hear his name, I think, oh, that guy.
Well, people were tweeting about it. A lot of celebrities. Glenn Greenwald said, Kevin Spacey has immense wealth and fame, and yet never came out as a gay man until he needed a distraction from this story and sympathy. Rose McGowan tweeted a lot. She said, bye-bye, Spacey, goodbye. It's your turn to cry. That's why we've got to say goodbye. Hashtag Rose Army. And Wanda Sykes said, no. You do not get to choose to hide under the rainbow. Kick rocks.
Hide under the rainbow.
And that's what a lot of people in the community are saying this morning. They're saying, you know what? You chose to come out at a time when you were being accused of something horrible, and now you're trying to branch it under the fact that, oh, well, I'm gay. So that's part of it. But the people in that community are saying, no, you don't get that. You don't get that option.
I feel like that point is being made, and I hope we can, as allies of the community or not, understand that they are two very different stories. Now, gayness aside, I want to talk about the sexual assault allegation, because this is one. How about if more come out? And then here's my main question, because this has been since Weinstein and everything started snowballing with his story. Okay, so Weinstein, all of this happens, we know about it, and then he is shunned from the industry. His company's taken away from him.
Right.
He's all the bad that could happen is happening to Weinstein, deservingly so, some would say. Okay, so now that other people are being accused, and even if they're admitting it, what does this mean for their future and their careers? Are we going to Weinstein them, essentially?
Well, I think
Now that we know?
I think the question is, have we been doing that? So what's the Stephen Collins from Seventh Heaven, Bill Cosby, Woody Allen, who has had questionable behavior in the past, Harvey Weinstein, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Have they been shunned? Are we going to shun them?
Does it matter the number?
Does it matter the number? Does it matter if it's with young boys or with young women or older women or older men? So I think that's the question. And if we're going to set the tone to say, okay, everybody has to be treated the same way that Harvey's treated, then it needs to be across the board. But everybody doesn't agree with that. Some people can separate the two. Some people can watch the Cosby Show and not see and know that Cliff Huxtable isn't Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Some people can see Harvey Weinstein and say he's a horrible man, but his body of work is good. It just
Sure.
depends on your perspective.
I also want to throw this out there, not necessarily because I feel one way or the other, but in this country, you are innocent until proven guilty. So I want to continue to express the fact that he has not yet been charged with anything.
alleged,
Right.
The allegations, if they're true, are horrible, and I hope that this would, be something where he goes to get help after something like this, and that we don't see that there are more victims of this type of behavior. But the reality is we are also judging based on the fact that this has come out, but nothing has yet been proven. I just want to put that into the universe right now, because sometimes these can, turn around on people. Not to say that he should have a pass here, but I just want to throw that out there.
No, and it's true. It's true. And we had a story last week when it came to Negan's character, Walking Dead, and his wife.
Sure, his wife.
Accusing. Go ahead with that story, because
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck had stepped forward talking about how horrible Harvey Weinstein is,
Sure,
and
yeah.
then his Kevin Dean Anderson.
right, I was just Negan from
Negan.
Walking Dead with the bat.
That-
His wife
Harry-
says, "Oh wait,
Harry
Ben,
Dean
he
Anderson
assaulted me."
said, "Hey, what about my wife?" Because his wife was once assaulted visually. It was on live TV by Ben Affleck. So,
And
yeah,
then, but that
100%
story's
support.
kind of gone by the wayside.
Yeah,
It's
we
like,
haven't heard a
oh,
lot
okay,
about that.
because he apologized and because Ben goes, okay. Did Ben apologize?
He
Yes.
did.
Okay, so he said,
did.
I'm sorry. So then we go, okay, he said, I'm sorry, and we move on. If Weinstein were to say sorry, do we move on? Like, I just get confused as to where we draw that line.
Christian Cavallo said we should Weinstein them all, like what you were saying, across the board. So if these allegations ring to be true for all these people, should they all be banned from their careers and unable to work and serve time in some way, shape, or fashion? What do you think? I mean, I truly do believe that if you're accused and found guilty of these charges, then yes, you shouldn't be able to
And
keep
Even
doing
one
it.
charge from 31 years ago?
But then
Talking about
But then that's the bigger conversation
Spacey.
with sexual assault, because a lot of times you can actually be assaulted and the person that assaulted you, even after you go to court, is not charged. So is it based on the charge only? Because does the charge say, okay, this did not happen to you?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then you have women who actually were assaulted, who went through the process
Right.
of trying to get it reconciled in some way, and they still walked away with no reconciliation at all. So, but then some people, again, say that it's not our business. So should we even be talking about any of this, because that's their personal life, this is what they're going through, and we're kind
Well,
of
it's
just
not the only industry.
pedestrians.
No, I mean,
and
think about
naysayers.
the Fox News stuff, everything. The other big networks are coming out with their own issues too. So.
The best thing that's going to come out of this, I think the dialogue will be more open and honest in Hollywood, we hope,
Yep.
for a while, and we hope that it curtails this kind of behavior being accepted behind the scenes, that
Yeah.
more people will be more quick to blow the whistle and feel that they're in a safe environment to do so.
Yeah.
And also-
As it's happening, not
Right.
hopefully 30 years later. I understand
you're
why
in fear
someone
of
would
losing
hold
your
that back.
job.
Yeah, you fear it. But for this poor actor, now 46 years old, going, okay, because all the women who have been Weinsteined are coming out, I can now too. I hope this conversation leads people in the moment to say, no, this is happening. I'm going to report it, and hopefully my career isn't affected. But we'll
As
wait and
for the
see.
acceptance of their art, people tend to have a short attention span about this kind of thing. I
That's
mean, I am a
true.
huge Michael Jackson fan of his music, of his art, to the end of time. And I never think about the allegations or things he went through when I hear his music. It
Right, you
happened or
separate the
not.
two.
But regardless, the art stands the test of time. I mean,
will-
for crying
we'll
out
wait
loud,
and
they
see.
had a Michael Jackson Halloween special on CBS on
Yeah.
Friday night. So
What I
think
am
people
curious
forget.
to see, though, is so as I was looking at Twitter before we wrap this up, and Kevin Spacey had tweeted, then I saw this. This was actually an ad by T-Mobile promoting Netflix and House of Cards, and it had Kevin Spacey's face on it. And the first thing I thought of is, ooh, what kind of impact
how
will
that
this
was
have to all of the advertisement and the sponsorship? I mean, that's typically the first to fall because when these allegations are out, whether or not they're proven to be true, they don't want to be a part of that. A lot of these companies.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
Interesting. Okay, that is the latest there. And